Jackie Reimer is the owner of that cafe, and we've reached her in Emerson to find out about what happened next. Thank you for being with us, Jackie. So just walk us through what happened when you found that group of people.
Well, we normally come into the restaurant half an hour before we open to get everything going. One morning we heard a commotion outside our door, and I went to go see what was going on. Went out to the door, and there was 7 people that were cold that just got into Canada. They were refugees. And there was a child, so we felt guilty. Like, we felt human. You know, I wouldn't imagine my child being in this kind of weather these days. And we offered them to come inside, warm up, have a cup of coffee, have something for breakfast, eat something, and then the RCMP were already called already, so therefore we didn't have to worry about that for them to be picked up.
And so, Jackie, obviously this is such a unique scenario and situation. Not a lot of people find themselves in this. So can you maybe describe for us the group of asylum seekers? How were they when you met with them after this journey?
They were okay. They were in good. They seemed to be happy just to be in Canada. Like, you could tell the road was a long one, and they got a lot of stress and whatnot through it. But they were doing very well when they got here. They were very pleased and happy and very polite people to have in the restaurant.
And, you know, I can tell by your account of the situation that you felt a lot of empathy. Specifically, you said, you know, you looked at this child and thought, that could be my child. That could be any child that I see here in this community. So did this experience for you, when you saw these asylum seekers on your doorstep, how did this change how you feel about asylum seekers?
Well, for the longest time, I was actually against how people were coming into the country and the refugees and everything, until the moment that I had them on my doorstep and I realized, you know, if I was in that situation, if I was coming from a country like that, I would want somebody to have open arms for me too, no matter what color of skin or what country they're coming from. Canada has been built on refugees and asylum seekers for many of years. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the places that we have. So I just see it as more people needing a place of refuge and a place of hope.
And we know from the news, of course, that there has been just an increase, a huge spike in the number of asylum seekers entering through Emerson, for example. So how divided is the opinion in Emerson about the asylum seekers? What are people saying? What is the community saying?
It's pretty much split down the middle, I would say. Some people say, you know, they just want them to go through the proper passage. We don't mind them coming into our country as long as they come in legally. And then you have the other ones on the other side that are really against having any more people enter Canada because we are pretty full as we are. So it's pretty divided. It does, at coffee time, bring up a lot of talk and a lot of laughter because everybody has their own opinion and everybody has their own right to their opinion in our country. So it gets kind of comical sometimes when everybody's arguing their own opinion.
For you, based on your experience, what would you tell someone who held the opinion you previously held? You had a sort of turning point moment. So what would you have to say about someone who holds your previous opinion?
They're just human.
The asylum seekers.
There's no different than that. They're humans. They're just seeking safety to raise a family, to be a family. Do not have to worry about where their children are or if they're getting shot at or bombed or anything like that.
And finally, one of the concerns we know also in the community is as the weather warms up, there's a possibility that more people will attempt to cross the border. So what do you want people to know about asylum seekers crossing into Manitoba?
Well, like I said, we really would wish they would go the legal routes to come into Canada. Not so easily done because of how long the lists are to come into Canada right now. But if you see somebody in need, you know, help them.